Hello, hello, this is Scott Rosano with Gigbuilder.com. This is episode number 104, and today we're going to learn about the dashboard. If you ran the setup wizard, it would have given you a simple dashboard such as this. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now, but we're going to start doing that at this very second. So we're going to go to Tools, and we're going to go to System Configuration, and from the System Configuration menu, we will select Dashboard. This is basically your home page. Now from your home page, we have a couple of top button bar options. For example, we can display upcoming activities or change to activity view. Those are the buttons on top. And I'll explain that real fast. We'll pop right back here. From the home page, these buttons here, when I click on these, they can either open up, and of course there's nothing here right now, nothing to display, a list of a few, or we can go straight to the view itself that has all of them. So it really depends upon how busy your particular company is, but for the most part, display upcoming activities is usually fine. The next thing we have up to is today's events widget. And that's kind of neat. You can turn that on, and anything that's coming on today, it'll show you at the top of the screen where it is. It'll even give you the weather at the location where you're going, sunset time, and a few other things. So it's kind of neat to have. The next section down we have is a calendar. And in the calendar, we can do a number of different things. First of all, you will notice on most of these widgets a section called Devices. If we click on that, we got Desktop, Tablet, and Mobile. So you can configure your desktop differently based upon the type of device you're using. So you just click on each one like this, and then the calendar will now show for all three. So if you go back on your phone or something and you don't see something, you need to come back here and make sure that the devices for that are set properly. We also have options for this where we can add resources. I'll explain that when we go to resources, but basically a resource is somebody that you hire, somebody else is doing the work. So you would see, for example, on that calendar control, on a particular date, say this is June 5th, it's a Saturday, you have a wedding, it'll also show you who's doing it. So that's where that option comes from. Now each of our event status widgets, this is something we had in version 5 that we've all updated to here, and that's those little blocks you saw at the beginning. Now the block itself will look brown, like you saw there, if there's nothing in it. It will change colors based upon when information is there, and you will see that through these videos. So on each one, now web requests is specifically anybody who has used your date checker and you haven't opened it yet. So it's really nice to see that you have all those separate in one place. We highly suggest showing that everywhere. And we did default it that way to tablet, desktop, and mobile. And again, you can click here and turn one or two off. Then as far as the location, because this creates what's called masonry to make it look as good as it can, you're just kind of given a weight to determine how important it is at the top. It's not necessarily going to be guaranteed to the top unless you only have one on the top, but this can help. So as you get in with Gigbuilder and as your desktop starts becoming a little more cluttered, you may want to go and start trying to rearrange them, and this is how you do that. The next one is the number of tasks, and this is how much it will show you on your desktop. So it's not everywhere else, but when you log in, it defaults to 5 events to each. You can select as many as you want, and then there's a little icon there that'll take you to all of them. But again, you customize this for how you want. Now I won't explain each of these 3 because they're identical all the way down. The next section down is leads. Now a lead, Gigbuilder will automatically save an event as a lead. If you're on the phone with somebody and you're filling out information for the first time, it will also convert it to a lead if it's a web request and you've opened it and edited it. Outside of that, you can change the statuses, and we'll get into that later. So that's what a lead is. Pursued is what we call a hot lead. You may want to use the status, you may not, which is why you can turn these on or off. But a pursued is a hot lead. So you got these leads coming in, but pursued are the ones it's like, these are the babies I'm really going for. And the next one we have is a pending contract, and that's where they've agreed, yeah, I think I want to work with you, send me a contract. So again, we have the devices, etc. After that, we have booked events, so how you want to see those. And then we have some other odd ones, like post-production for photographers, videographers, people who do work after the event is over. Then we have some more status like postponed if something happened, an illness, acts of God, COVID, etc. And then we have recently accessed, so you can see who's working on what. That's kind of nice to show, and we do not default that to begin with. You'll play with these later. Then further down, we have appointments, because Gigbuilder does it a whole appointment scheduler. Blackouts, which are dates where you've removed yourself or your system for a holiday, or you're not working, or you ended up booking up and there's other circumstances. Gigbuilder also has a task manager, and so you can show that. Approve time off and time off requests. Again, they are something that your multi-ops do. A lot of people don't, so we default that to none selected so you don't see it. Change requests can come in from your client. And for example, the venue changed or some of the time changed, and so it's kind of neat how we do that. And then we have e-signatures, because if you've got a contract and you want to have multiple people sign it, we follow along that. We do full signatures, etc. And so you can see that on there as well. A few other ones, purchase manager. If you decide to turn this on, somebody selects a song that's not in your library, it reminds you to buy it. And next actions. Next actions are kind of like a status within a status. So you might have a new event or a pursuit event, and you really need to get a call to that person by the end of the week. You can set up a next action to remind you that. And again, we're going to go through all of these along the video. So then we can modify the dashboard quite a bit. Display postponed events. So if usually you hide them, but this is, again, if there's a natural disaster or something, so we keep that hidden. Gigbuilder tips, they're at the bottom of the screen. You can turn them on or off. Same with the live help icon. If you can turn the live help, that's this thing over here, and no matter where we are, you can click this and you can get help right now. Plus it's got a lot of answers of commonly asked questions. You can turn that off if this is bothering you everywhere, and then it will always be in tools and help regardless. So it's something to remember and something to do. Hide empty widgets. If one of those boxes are empty, don't even show it. Or always show, and it'll show as brown or empty. Primary employee, if you want to show that, it'll show it on the event, so it'll say who's doing it. Same with the admin person, and even the second employee, and then last but not least, the location or venue name. So turning these on or off will change the way the desktop looks, and as you start putting events in, you're probably going to want to come back here and make a few changes. All we got to do now is click on Save. Save will go ahead and register everything inside the Gigbuilder system, bring you back to your setup, and now you're ready for the next video.